We're back, bitches.
Welcome back to Gossip Queens and Fantasy Things.
We took a little break, but
Yes.
We're here now.
We're back
Addy.
again.
I'm Tayven.
We're here, ready to go. Yeah, we took a couple weeks break. We, like 2 weeks ago, we were going to film our Urban Legends episode and we got in a big fight. We literally had the camera set up.
Everything, ready to go. Sat down. I was like, can I air a grievance?
And it did not go smoothly, so we didn't record. Then later that night, we, called and, talked it over or whatever. But then we were also like, it's going to be our 10th episode, so maybe we should put
forgot.
Yeah, we should put Urban Legends on hold and do something else for episode 10. So we were going to do that last week, and then that didn't happen last week either.
Yeah.
We weren't in a fight last week, though.
No. The fight was made up pretty quickly.
Yeah, but last week I was traveling. Yeah, I guess we can get into some updates from the last 2 weeks as well.
Yeah, I got a lot of updates.
Yeah.
Well, I just have one really big one, but...
Yeah, do you want to go, or do you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay. Yeah, so I just went out to Nevada to visit my grandpa. I was supposed to pick up the prison bus, but we have had some storage issues we ran into, so we didn't pick up the prison bus, but we still went down to visit. If you have not listened to our prison bus episode, I am acquiring a prison transport bus from my grandfather, trading some of my paintings for it. So I'm quite excited about it, but me and Cody went down, he saw the bus, we drove it around, it was really fun. We're gonna pick it up in the spring instead. But it was good. We heard a lot about, some new conspiracy theories I'd never heard of before.
Oof.
And, yeah, it was a good time. But that's pretty much what's new with me, so.
Well, isn't you had a painting deadline. Isn't your painting going to be in a gallery in, Portland or something?
Oh, yes, yeah. I have that was another thing. I came home, we were supposed to record. I'm like, I cannot because I really freaking need to get this painting done. Yeah, I have a piece that will be in a show in Portland in November, and I just got accepted to a couple art shows, one in Pennsylvania and one in Washington. I didn't tell you that yet.
Dang! Nice!
So, I'm excited.
That's exciting.
And I got a new job. I haven't, officially signed the paperwork, but I'm excited to tell you about it. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry about that.
There might be a really loud clunk. Tayven
It's just my vape.
Dropped her vape on our table where our mic is. But anyway, so it's a new painting related job, but hopefully I'll share more info in the coming weeks because I want it to be official before I really
that's fair.
share with everyone about it.
That's fair.
That's what's new with me.
Okay. Yeah, I just had my boyfriend come to visit for a whole week. Which is crazy, because in the past, we've only done, little weekends, little 2 or 3 day trips.
They're long distance.
Yeah. He lives in Boise. I live here in Salt Lake. So it's not too far. It's not like we're, across seas or anything, but with his job and stuff, it is kind of, hard to coordinate times sometimes. But he was able to take some time off and came down from a Friday to a Friday. So, actually, no, Friday to Sunday. Yeah, he left yesterday. So, it was a great week. It was perfect. We played a lot of video games, watched Lord of the Rings. It was his first ever watching of the Lord of the Rings.
So exciting.
I was so excited for him, because he's seen the first season of Rings of Power, but hasn't watched the Lord of the Rings. I'm like, that's a weird order. Technically it is a prequel, so it's chronologically correct.
So it actually makes sense.
But
yeah, weird.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like everyone should watch the Lord of the Rings first. But, yeah, so he ended up really liking it, which was awesome, and I don't know, we just got food and hung out, went out to dinner with Addy and Cody one night, and...
That was fun.
It was a fun night. But yeah, so it was a great week, as usual, as it always is, spending time with him.
But leaving, not so great.
God, it was so hard, because we met the first time in Twin Falls. We did a little halfway meetup, and then he came here for my birthday for a weekend, and then I went there for a wedding for a weekend, so this was the longest amount of time that we've spent together. And I wasn't really scared of it realistically, but I was there's a chance that we get really sick of each other, because we're not just hanging out for 10 days straight, we're living in the same space, yeah. No breaks or space from each other for 10 days straight, so it went really well. That did not happen. He left yesterday around like 6 o'clock, and I was just an absolute freaking mess.
Yeah, I came over today. We record in Tayven's basement.
Yeah.
And I come downstairs and she's like, welcome to my den of depression. I'm like, oh, so that's the vibe today. Okay.
That was the vibe. Yeah, I sobbed like a freaking baby for like a full like hour after he left. It was crazy. But we also had just finished watching the last Lord of the Rings.
So, okay.
Which emotions were already running high.
You're already crying. Probably.
I was. And I cried at like new parts that I have never cried at before too. It was just, oh.
You know, I'm gonna just dive in a little to Lord of the Rings right now. If you haven't seen it, you must. You simply must. But we watched it together. We've probably said this before on here, but I'm going to share it again. We watched it with Cody for the first time when Cody and I were dating.
Yeah.
The three of us all watched it together, and it got to the end, and Tayven and I were just a mess. It's so sad at the end. It is so sad.
It is.
And for those who haven't seen Lord of the Rings, or maybe you're a casual watcher, I'm going to explain to you why it's sad. So they, just destroy the ring, Middle-earth is saved, and Frodo, he's the one who is carrying the ring. What a tremendous burden that was.
I'm start crying just
I know, oh my god,
it.
I feel like as I explain it, I might cry, but I think I will, maybe I'll be okay. But so when he goes back to the Shire with his friends, this whole journey with the ring took, 13 months? I think that's how long we say, so over a year. And when he goes back, he has this little monologue. The first lines always kill me. It's like, how do you pick up the threads of a life you once knew?
Yeah.
And, the threads of an old life or a life you once knew. And
some wounds are too deep. Time doesn't heal these old hurts.
And it's so sad. And so Frodo decides to go with the elves to...
The last ship leaving Middle-earth.
Yeah, the last ship meeting Middle-earth, which essentially that's death.
Yeah. You're moving on to the next life. You're leaving this life for the next one.
Yes. Cody did not understand that when
we were
first
going on
watching
a little quest, a little adventure.
He's like, he needs adventure. He's going on more adventure. I'm like, no, he's dying, Cody. And what's so sad is, all his friends come with him because they think they're sending Bilbo off on this last ship. And Frodo's like, I'm going with him. And his friends, they're so sad. But they just start... devastated to learn this, and it's so sad to me that nothing is enough to keep Frodo there. Even his closest friends are all there, not wanting him to leave, and he's just like, I cannot stay. That burden that the ring placed on him.
Too heavy.
God. Don't anyone come at Frodo either. I won't take Frodo slander ever.
That's what I think I realized. Well, okay, real quick, when we were watching the end, that specific scene, I'm on Jordan's chest, I'm sobbing like a little baby, and he's surprised. He's like, why is he leaving? Tayven, why is he leaving? And starts shaking me. I'm like, just wait.
Yeah.
You'll see. But yeah, having to explain that, it's just, he can't, there's nothing that can tie him to this life. Even the last bit where they're on Mount Doom and they're lying there and Frodo's finally I can see the Shire, I can taste the strawberries and feel the grass, and then when he gets home, it's just not enough to keep him there.
Yeah. I just think, too, I have heard sometimes in some circles, people will be like, Frodo, Sam did all the work. I've heard that a lot.
Sam did do a lot of work.
Sam did a lot of work, but no one can understand the burden of the ring, and I think that how the show ended shows that, because Sam was able to return to his life because he did not carry that burden that would mess with you mentally and emotionally.
He got married, he had kids.
Yeah, he was able to return, and I'm sure he had his own troubles and struggles he had to work through with that.
Yeah.
But Frodo,
he
could not. It's really sad. I love Frodo. I think he's so strong. He is such a hero.
God, the scene too where they're at Gondor.
I was just thinking about that.
Aragorn's getting crowned king, and then he walks up to the hobbits, and the hobbits are start to bow.
My friends,
Aragorn, you bow to no one.
And right there too, you can see it in Frodo's eyes, because Merry and Pippin, they're kind of
what?
A little,
oh my god,
me. And I think Sam, he looks a little happy but a little confused. But Frodo just honestly looks devastated. Not devastated, but
it's hard to explain. Yeah,
you gotta watch his face, but you just know in that moment, he's not gonna stay. It's not. And nothing's gonna bring him back.
When everyone, including the new king of Gondor and his elven wife, everyone just falls to their knees and just bows to them. It's powerful.
I've chilled.
I know.
I have goosebumps.
I cried to for the first time, which actually, obviously, this is a great moment, but I've never cried to it before.
Mm-hmm.
Is when Eowyn takes off her helm and she's like, "I am no man." I start crying.
Oh, I love that.
But then the Battle of Helm's Deep, when Théoden's like, "I want every abled body," you know, like the old men, the kids, and then the moms are like holding their kids and they're just putting on their huge. I start sobbing. I've never cried to that scene before, but I think the older I get, the more sad that is, because I'm like, God.
This is my favorite part of Helm's Deep. I'm pretty sure this is Helm's Deep. You'll have to correct me since you just watched it, but when Legolas is like surfboarding down the stairs,
it's actually,
orcs, is that is Helm's Deep?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, because I know it's at night.
It's not at Minas Tirith.
No, it's not.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, that's like a really good scene, a really good shot. Before we get into our stuff, also talking about Legolas. I just watched Troy yesterday, the movie Troy. I was telling Tayven about it. I've never seen it.
What an all-star cast, too.
Sean Bean,
Orlando Bloom,
Did they
Brad Pitt
get cast in Lord of the Rings from Troy? Because
honestly, yeah, because they all work really well together. So
yeah, I mean Brad Pitt's not in Lord of the Rings, but
yeah.
Anyways, I love Orlando Bloom. He's great as Legolas. He was great in Troy, but he's Paris in Troy. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with like the Iliad and the Odyssey, but you know, Iliad, it's like the Trojan War, and Orlando Bloom plays Paris, who stole Helen from Sparta. They were the Spartans, right? Yeah.
The King of Sparta.
King of Sparta, but then he like is challenged in battle, and Paris, he just is like a little baby and crawls to his brother's legs and like hold on to him. And they're like, don't let them kill me. And I was like, God, it's tough to see Orlando Bloom like that.
Yeah, that was a tough scene. I forgot about that.
I was like, poof. Hate to see it for my man Orlando.
True. Because he's just such a badass in Lord of the Rings.
He is.
Every time he would like make a shot with his bow, Jordan's like, damn, he's a surgeon with that thing.
Oh yeah. This will not be the last time we talk about Orlando Bloom today. And with that, should we dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, 10th episode. We did want to do something special, even with us fighting and putting off our urban legends. So we were going to do a single top 10 list of like the musts you have to get into with fantasy.
Yeah.
And we do have that. But we also have like 5 other top 10 lists. So
it's too hard.
It is hard. So this is 10th episode, top 10s, and we're gonna
10s.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you the 10 things. So if you're interested in video games, Tayven's going video games. I'm doing movies and TV. We also have like a top 10 must that you've probably seen all of these.
A master list.
And then we have another top 10 list that's like
kind of more obscure,
lesser known, but these were
got some recommendations.
Yeah, recommendations people sent in, and a couple of our recommendations, like things you might not know as well, but they're really things you should try out. And it's a variety. It's not just like TV and video games. Mm-hmm. We also have some like tabletop games, events, things like that. Music,
yeah.
So, well, yeah, we're excited to kind of dive into it. So we'll start with our classics list.
Okay.
This is the list, like, you've probably seen most of these or participated in these, but if you're wanting to get into fantasy in any way, these are the recommendations.
And if you're starting to get into fantasy and you've done some of these, you gotta do all of them.
Yeah, these are like the big pop culture moments. I actually haven't seen all of these, but we can go through. So we can go back and forth.
I think. Yeah. Okay.
Tayven she can't see anything. You should wear your glasses.
Okay.
Hold my phone up like this so she can see.
Obvious number 1. We were just talking about it. Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it's
just
a
classic.
Like, I honestly think that's just the best fantasy.
It's my number 1 on every list. Into. Yeah.
I think everyone should watch it multiple times. Extended editions.
Especially the extended editions, yeah.
I will say I haven't read the books. I tried. I borrowed it from my brother-in-law, and I just I don't know, I never read it. I am hoping to read it next year. That's like a goal. I think I'm going to do the audiobook.
I would like to get into like a lot more of like the lore and stuff like that. But
oh, well, that's what you could do on your drives up to Boise. You start driving up there a lot, you know? Just put in the Lord of the Rings.
That's true. Actually, I could do the audiobook.
Boom. There you go.
Read by
Gandalf?
No,
by who reads it? I don't know who reads
Smeagol, I think.
Oh, Andy Serkis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had a listener recommend that to us, the audiobooks.
Maybe we should both listen to that.
I'm down.
Okay, that would be fun.
Okay.
Anyway, so Lord of the Rings in our classics. Number 2, we had D&D. Like, to play D&D. It's just so fun. You get to pick your character. You get to develop, like, whatever fantasy character you want. We've definitely talked a lot about how we fall into different tropes. Tayven's always, like, a badass elf assassin, and I'm always, like, a goofy old man. I don't know. That's the
But
vibe.
it's just, you can be whatever you want. You can literally do whatever you want. Like, it's so, like... It's structured, but the like plot of the game is very loose.
Like, it's like play pretend, but with rules. You know, when you're a kid, you play pretend. We play pretend all the time.
Yeah.
But then if one of your friends does something you don't like, you're like, well, pretend that I did this better than you. And what can they say? Nothing, because you just pretended that you did it better. But in Dungeons and Dragons, you have some rules. You have some guidelines.
You have some stats.
You have stats. But other than that, it's like free play, and it's so fun.
Yeah. I would recommend it to literally everyone. And I know it sounds, when you like look into it and get into it, it sounds very nerdy. It sounds like insane. But I think it's for everyone.
But you know what? Cody has also DM'd a few times, and he's really good at it. And he's good at doing the one-shots, which is just... D&D can extend very far. If you do a campaign, it can be a lot of sessions, a lot of work.
Yeah.
A one-shot is like a really short story. You're maybe playing for like 2 to 3 hours.
And you just get it all wrapped up.
Yeah.
That day.
And Cody was really good at that. So if you are really wanting to try D&D, you're not sure who to try it out with, get in touch. We'll put together a little one-shot, and Cody will DM us. That would be so fun, actually.
Because it doesn't always have to be like this, like... Because there is the realm of like the Dungeons and Dragons, which is like the... what is it called? I can't think of it right now.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just like the usual realm that they're set in.
Okay.
But there are like, you can literally do anything. Like, Addy was telling me about one they did on like ships and like...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
It doesn't have to be just set in like that specific world. It can be anything you want.
One of our campaigns, the one that's on a ship, the ship captain, he's like an NPC, so none of us are him, but our dungeon master, he named him Christopher Squawkin. And he has a Christopher Walken voice. So
God damn it.
What? I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to embarrass the hell out of myself. But anyways, so it's really funny. But yeah, if you're interested in testing it out, not sure who to try it out with, send us a message. We'll put together a little campaign.
That'll be fun.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, number 3. Oh yeah, so Comic-Con, or in Utah now it's known as FanX. But just some kind of comic convention. Always so fun to go to. Last year we did what is it called? The costume cosplay contest.
Yes.
That was crazy. Very intense. A lot of fun. But usually we just go, I do like a little closet cosplay. I do like something that's literally just in my dresser already that I can kind of make look into like a character. But there's a lot of vendors there. There's like some booths, panels. There's like, the show at the end of the
I like the
weekend.
Panels. Tayven, we both like to walk through like the celebrity row, see what famous people are there. But it is fun. It's so fun to dress up and just walk around. They used to have a fantasy con. Actually, they had one year a fantasy con.
Really?
And I went in Salt Lake, and it pretty much was Lord of the Rings con. Like,
Hell
it was all Lord of the Rings stuff. And that was the first convention I'd ever been to, and it was so fun. They had, like, a jousting stadium set up in the Salt Palace Convention Center, and you could, like, go free fight. You know, like, you could sign up and fight. They had fire dancers. Like, they had aerial silk dancers. They had, like, a stage set up. It was crazy. I met Sean Astin there. I got his autograph. I cried. I've never cried meeting a celebrity other than Sean Astin. That's Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings.
That's crazy.
Mikey from the Goonies. So
he's in a lot.
He is in a lot.
He's
But
Rudy.
those are my favorites. I still love the Goonies. It's so good. But yeah, Comic-Con is so fun. I was gonna say something else about it, and then I just forgot.
I was just gonna kind of add to. I mean, like, kind of in the same realm as like a Renaissance fair. Because that's what it made me think of. I went to a Renaissance fair,
and I really want to go.
I went to one like 2 years ago, and they had like the jousting and like all of that, and it's so fun. They have like the little like mugs of ale. They had like this guy running around, like, and you could like pay him $1 to like write you a song, and you could like pick the levels of spiciness. So we picked the most spicy, and he would literally just sing us like a straight up like smut song. It was crazy, but. Yeah, so those are always fun to go to because you get to meet like-minded people no matter what level of fantasy you're into. Like, if you're just, like, getting started out, there's a lot of people there that are just like, I like Pokemon, and, you know, but then there's a lot of the deep nerds there, too, so.
Yeah. It's also fun to, like, buy merch and go see the artists and stuff.
Yeah.
We actually missed it this year. I was too poor and too tired to go. I was like, this ain't the year for me.
I was too poor and also didn't want to go alone because no one else wanted to go.
Oh no, we did a pickleball tournament that day. That was our I was like, there was another reason I didn't go.
Yeah.
Also too poor, but here is my big suggestion for Comic-Con. Have money. It's a lot more fun if you have money to burn, and I had no money to burn this year because there's so much stuff you can buy.
That's where I got this hat. 2 years ago we went, that was my only goal, because I was big into One Piece 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't care what else we do, I'm getting a straw hat while we're here.
Yeah. So,
and I did.
I'm actually going to jump around. We should have done this list in order of significance.
Oh.
So I'm going to jump Harry Potter.
Okay.
That would be the next one.
Okay.
I think. That's, you know, classic fantasy, wizards, witches.
Yeah.
Pretty sure everyone's seen or read Harry Potter, but if you haven't, I'd really give it your best shot, because that's like classic. Yeah, that's it. Classic.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they're the super nerds about Harry Potter, but it's a good, like, especially in the winter time, around this time, it's a good time to just do a little marathon. Even if you just do, like, one a day. I don't know.
Or like one a week
until
Christmas.
True.
Because there's 8 movies.
Oh,
so if you start in November, one a week.
And the holiday scenes in Harry Potter are so good.
They are. They feel
the Halloween and Christmas ones.
I always associate it with Christmas. It feels very, like, Christmassy to me.
Yeah. I love when they come out and all the presents are there. And it's
I
like,
know.
Harry, look, there's one for you.
It's just so fun. I have a Harry Potter Pez set, a collector's edition Pez set.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's just a little fun fact about me and my belongings.
Okay. Well, in order of significance, then, I feel like I should go Twilight next.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I like that.
Because some of these we were, like, wanting to get, like, a range of, like, games, books, events, whatever, but Twilight and Harry Potter can be a movie or a book, because they're both great reads and watches. I read the books first, and then watched the movies second on Twilight. But, you know, it's just a classic. We all know they're cringy. We all know they are what they are. But they're still amazing. And a must watch.
Yeah, I haven't read the books. I love the movies, though. And the movies get so much better. If you do a marathon, it's, like, crazy how good the last ones are.
It just, like, keeps going up and up.
You're like, wow, they get better, they get hotter.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Would recommend. Next I would say was probably Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I have not seen Game of Thrones. I feel like cardinal sin that I haven't watched
It's crazy that you haven't.
I really want to, but Cody, we want to watch it together, and it feels, I don't know, I think we could keep putting it off because it feels kind of daunting to me. That's like a lot of content to get through.
It is. I literally had to have someone force me to watch it because I wasn't going to do it.
But I know I love it, and that's what people tell me. They're like, oh, Addy, you would love that. And I'm like, I know I would love it. I know I would. It seems definitely right up my alley, but it just, you know, it's a lot sometimes. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And so am I ready to commit? I don't know. Maybe in the new year I'll be ready to commit to Game of Thrones.
I also feel like there was an exact right time for you to watch Game of Thrones, and it's now. Because I don't think you would have been ready for it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh no, I wouldn't have been. That's why I didn't watch it for so long.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, everyone talks about it, everyone really loves it, so we put it on the list.
It's gory, it's very sexual, but it's good. The story's great. It does kind of fall off in the last season a little bit. But up until then, it's great.
Alright, you pick the next one.
Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna go Ocarina of Time because that's what I vibe with the most. Yep. That's what was a pinnacle moment of my fantasy experience, was being like 6 years old playing Ocarina of Time on the N64. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know the storyline, but I just loved running around as little Link and just running through the forest. It was so fun.
I played Ocarina of Time as a kid. I never made it out of his village.
Yeah, Kakariko Village.
Kakariko Village. Me and my friend, my cousin, we one time played it till like 5 a.m. And then the sun didn't come up. We didn't know what time the sun came up. We were kids. But so we were looking out the window. I remember Ocarina of Time, like the music's playing in the background, right? It's on the TV. Dun, 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 whatever, music. And we're looking out the window and it's dark. And we were like, oh my God, it's the second coming. Because they say there's going to be like 3 days of darkness or whatever. We were convinced Jesus was coming back. So
that's so crazy.
That's my Ocarina of Time related story.
Yeah, that song, it's literally my ringtone to this day. But it ingrained like a deep, deep love of Soraya's song in me. Like there's no other song that will ever hit harder than that song.
Yeah.
So
that one's good. And then next, I'd say, we've talked about this a ton. Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a good book series. I loved it. Also, if you're an adult, get into some smut. I'm sorry, you need to read some smut.
It's also, like, I've seen a lot about this online, but I agree with it, is that if you were, like, a really big, like, fantasy kid, like, if you were into, like, Harry Potter and Twilight and Lord of the Rings, and then you kind of fell off for a little bit, like, you were just kind of, like, sucked into the real world.
This is how to get back in.
Yeah. It's a great reintroduction to, like, at least reading fantasy. Like, I didn't read a book for, like, probably, like, 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And then I picked up this, and now I'm, like, back on the grind. So.
It is. Same. I've been, like, reading since then. I will say, though, I won't spoil anything, but I was telling Tayven, when I watched Troy, did Sarah J. Maas directly steal dialogue from that movie?
Possibly.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, in my...
Maybe she's never seen it. Maybe she's never seen Troy.
And she took that line word for word. There's no way. There's no way. But
it is iconic,
because too,
though.
a lot of her writing, it does draw from different, like, mythologies and like, Greek history and stuff.
Yeah. And
when they said this line in Troy, I was like, I have heard that so many times. I was like, where have I heard that? And then I was like, holy shit, that's in ACOTAR. It's a line that everyone, like, I see it online and in TikToks, people are like, that was so crazy when this got said. And I was like, she took that. She took it. I'm calling you out, Sarah J. Maas. I know what happened.
So if you've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, go watch Troy. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
you can catch the line that she stole.
I'll give you a little conversation hint. It's between Menelaus and Paris. It's crazy. Okay, there's 2 more. You can pick.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pick Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. Caribbean, whatever. But, another classic. I mean, I was so obsessed with those films as a kid.
Cody and I watch them, like, once a year.
Yeah, like, the amount of times that I've seen it, crazy.
Genuinely, if you haven't watched Pirates of the Caribbean in a long time, they are 3. I'm gonna just do the first 3. 3, honestly, the best films ever made. Yeah. They are so good. And the CGI, especially... like, of Davy Jones and stuff.
For that time period?
It's way better than CGI now.
Yeah.
Like, the care and attention to the characters and storyline, it's so good. If you haven't watched them, stop whatever you're doing and go watch them. Because
right now. I don't care if you're at work, go home.
Yeah, truly, they're so good. I think they might be better than Lord of the Rings. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I just feel that. Like, they're so good. They're really good. They're so different. Insane. Obviously, it's like pirates and stuff, but it's...
I think they're a little lighter.
They are.
Lord of the Rings is very heavy.
It is. And
Pirates of the Caribbean is just a good, fun, easy breezy watch.
And Orlando Bloom, as a pirate, I told you we weren't done talking about him. So handsome.
My type is Jack Sparrow.
I mean, I always liked him too.
Yeah. He's hot. Yeah. Orlando Bloom's hot as hell, but he's, like, too much of a good guy. He's goody two-shoes.
This is, like, a hot take, but I always really liked Lord Cutler Beckett.
You know what?
I was kidding, Tayven. Do not say that you liked him.
I didn't like him, like, as a crush, but he's a good villain.
Oh, he is. He's the best villain. I was like, Tayven, there's no fucking way right now.
Not in, like, a romantic attraction way. But I actually love his character so much. Like, he does a great job.
He's great of, like, greed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Corporate greed. Lord Cutler Beckett. Oh, God, those movies are good. We should watch those.
I kind of want to watch them right now.
Okay, and then the last one on our top 10 classics list. Was this controversial, Tayven?
Maybe. A little bit. Never would have thought of it in a million years.
I told it to Cody. I'm like, it's a must. Shrek. Shrek 1, 2, and 3.
It is technically fantasy.
That's high fantasy, okay?
Yeah.
That's all the fairy tales.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I told Cody, I was like, I want to put Shrek on there. And he's like, that's crazy. He's like, everyone's seen Shrek. I'm like, I know. But Cody, what would your reaction be if you met someone who said, I've never seen Shrek? You'd be like, stop what you're doing, babe. Go watch Shrek, you know? It's a must.
And it's actually so much of a better rewatch as an adult. Because you catch all the little, like, dirty jokes and, like, it's just...
It's so funny. It's such a good story.
Up. Yeah.
And I love Shrek, too. I think the second one's my favorite.
The second one's good.
The music's so good.
I think, like, 2 or 3 years ago, I did a Shrek marathon. It was great.
I just would highly recommend as, like, fun, goofy fantasy.
Yeah.
Nothing better than Shrek. Putting that out there.
I also feel like this list has a lot to do with our personalities, actually, now that I'm thinking
It
about
does.
it.
These are our top 10 must. But these are big pop culture moments.
Yeah.
These are like things that most people have seen or participated in.
Yeah.
Now we can get to our lesser recommendations, right?
Okay.
Not lesser, but these are lesser known.
Yeah,
I was like,
more
why
obscure.
I typed lesser in there, and I'm like, lesser? What does that mean?
That's
These are more
good.
obscure. We got some recommendations, like on Instagram. We put up a box people could submit in. So these are some of those, and then some of our own as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just kind of go through these. But my one that I recommended was The Mirror Visitor, which is a book series. It's really good. I recommended it to Tayven last year. She never read it.
I honestly totally forgot that she recommended it to me.
It's really good. It's like young adult. It's not smutty. There's like hardly any romance in it, honestly. It was so disappointing. But that was like tough because I thought it was going to be a lot of romance. That's why I cooked through those books. Each book was like 700 pages.
Damn.
And I read them all in like 3 weeks because I was like, give me something, you know? And they give you like a little hint that something might be coming. So I'm like, I'm cooking through. I'm trying to get somewhere, and then the book's over, and there's like one kiss in the whole book, in the whole 4 books.
Oof.
But
you know, it must be good for Addy to recommend it, and it doesn't have romance in it.
Yes, because I'm like, there has to be romance. There is not in this, but it truly, the story was so interesting, and the villain, well, God, I don't want to give anything away. I would highly recommend. It's kind of like the world has been fractured, like literally in my mind, how I saw it, the world is like fractured apart into pieces floating in space. I don't know if that's actually how it's supposed to be, but in my mind, that's how I pictured it. And all these different like fractures, people have different like gifts and stuff and abilities. And so the main character, her gift is like animation, and so she can like see the past of objects by touching them, or like animate objects. So she has this scarf that kind of like has a life of, it's like a pet almost, because like just by touching her it like has its own life. So it's just really fun. I thought it was a really unique book. I think it was originally written in French. It's by an author from Belgium, but it's been translated, and it's really a spectacular book series.
All right.
Some of these we didn't write, so we can just do a brief, someone recommended this.
Yeah, I mean, Wheel of Time has been recommended to me personally multiple times.
I've never heard of it.
So many people, but I feel like someone told me that it's like a lot to get into. Like, it's a big, like, there's like different, like, it's all set in the same universe.
Is it a series?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's like multiple different like stories happening like in the same universe, kind of like Throne of Glass and ACOTAR in Crescent City, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But it's a big commitment from what I've heard, is that it's like a long series and that it's a lot to get into, and it's very like deep in like the lore, and so it's like kind of a lot to figure out, but
if you're into the deep lore, I go for it. Also, I'll just say with that, Wheel of Time, Mistborn, we've both been recommended Mistborn, and I've heard kind of the same. The Brandon Sanderson, all his books are in the same universe. Yeah. Lore heavy. Cody loves them. He really likes that book series. I've had a lot of people recommend those.
I mean, I think we've said it before, but everyone says that Mistborn is like the guy's version of ACOTAR, so yeah.
But, so yeah, Mistborn, also maybe deep in the lore, but if that's your thing, if that's your vibe, there's a good recommendation for you too. Wheel of Time and Mistborn.
The only reason I haven't given Brandon Sanderson a shot is because I know he's probably a great writer. I know they're probably great books, but I just really don't want to read fantasy written by men.
Yeah,
I have a prejudice.
I mean, we've talked about it. I don't like how they describe people.
Yeah.
Everyone feels like they're ugly. I don't like it.
Yeah. If you have really strong arguments against that, let me know, and I might give it a shot. But for now, I'm good.
Yeah. Also, men aren't good at writing sex scenes.
No.
So, like a smut scene, I mean, it's just like...
Not at all.
We did it in the forest.
Her heaving breasts were great.
I'm like, okay, that's stupid.
Cool.
That was lame. Okay. The next one, Cody recommended this. I'll recommend it too, you know? It's a good one. Gregor the Overlander. This is a good book series. It was written by Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. Also a great book series. But Gregor the Overlander, it is like a kid's, like teen kind of series, but it's really a really fun fantasy series about this kid living in New York, finds out there's like this whole underground society, giant bats that they ride and become friends with.
Whoa,
you know, it's fun. Like, and they fight rats. The rats are, like, evil, like, these giant rats. It's just fun. It's really fun. I think it's well written. Cody and I have, like, been reading them together at night. We're, like, almost done with book 2. There's, like, 5 books. But it's really good. If you're looking for an easy entry back into fantasy again, if you're an adult that has, like, stopped reading for years, I would give these books a whirl, because they're just fun. They're an easy read. They're good. They'll get you back in. And if you don't like smut, there's no smut in them because they're for kids. So there you go.
Because they're literally for kids.
Cody was so disappointed. Like a year ago when we started reading the first one, we went to the library. And we're looking in, like, the young adult section, right? And we can't find it anywhere. And I'm like, they've got to have it. Like, this was a popular series for kids or for, you know, young adults or whatever. And we go to the front desk. We're like, where's Gregor the Overlander? They're like, oh, that's downstairs in the kids section. And Cody got so sad. He's like, I read kids' books. I'm like, hey, you know, don't knock it. They're good. All right. It's a chapter book. All right.
Big kid book.
Big kid book. Okay.
I'll let you do the next one, too, because that's yours.
Yeah, this one was mine. My passion. My true fantasy passion. This is a game. Like a board game. Carcassonne. It's actually a medieval French city, but if you get one of the expansions, it's The Princess and Dragon. So that felt fantasy enough for me to include it on this list. Carcassonne.
It is fun.
Oh, God. If you like
also
games...
very, very, very frustrating.
It's only frustrating if you play against me, because
if you lose,
have an uncanny ability at Carcassonne.
I win every time.
I do. I don't know what it is. I'm
crazy.
really good at Carcassonne. It's like a strategy game, and it's also kind of
luck and puzzle world building.
Yeah.
It's so fun. If you like games at all, I would so recommend. If you like fantasy at all, if you like medieval villages, if you just like doing anything.
If you like hanging out with friends.
If you like hanging out with friends, Carcassonne, I could recommend it till the day I die. It's so much fun. So,
I know it's probably not at all similar, but every time I hear it, it just reminds me of Settlers of Catan.
They are similar, but I feel like Settlers of Catan is more complicated.
I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it.
I played it once with some guy who, like, didn't explain the rules, and so, like, me and my friend we would play, and then he's like, oh, you can't do that, so then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna win. And then he would just win, and we're like, how stupid, explain the rules to me. Okay, whatever.
Oh, we did do Mistborn already.
Yeah, we did do that.
Okay. What is that?
Gormenghast.
Okay.
This was recommended to us. Oh, I looked it up a little. It's like it looks like a gothic novel. That's it. That's all we know about it. But came highly recommended from someone. So, Gormenghast, if you're in for some reading, it sounds Halloweenish. I don't know.
It is.
That's just what it sounds like.
But maybe you could take a look.
Okay, I'll do this one.
You do the next two.
Okay, yeah, so it's actually Horizon Zero Dawn.
Zero?
Yeah.
Okay, I typed it wrong.
But it's a video game that I have not yet played. It's called Horizon Zero Dawn. And it's
Oh, Dawn?
Yeah.
Not down?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizons Zero Dawn.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been recommended to me a lot. And it's kind of, the first one's an older game now. It came out a long time ago. I'd say maybe 2017, 18, I don't know. But there's been a lot of games after that. But I haven't played a single one of them, which is crazy for me being such an avid gamer. But it's been, just throughout the years, recommended to me by so many people. I think I've heard that it's won a lot of awards. Most recently, my boyfriend recommended it to me, said it was really good. So, yeah. Next one, Rings of Power. Kind of goes along with Lord of the Rings, but I think it's a little more... It's very different than Lord of the Rings. Like, the vibe is, totally different, I feel like.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's... So it's a prequel, so you get a lot more of the lore, and a lot of people said that it was really boring and they didn't like it, but me personally, I love lore. I live for lore. When I play Zelda, I always look up the timelines and the stories of each character and where everyone came from, so I loved it. It's a little bit of the first season, at least I haven't watched the second season yet, but the first season's a little bit of the origins of Sauron and Galadriel, and it's just so fun to see where everyone came from and what their lives were before they were these all-powerful beings of Middle-earth, and you just get to learn a lot about the little side characters too. I'm pretty sure Aragorn's heirs are in it somewhere.
His heirs?
Isildur and all those guys.
Oh,
the past
older
kings
ones,
of Gondor.
the ancestors.
Yeah.
Heirs would be his
Oh,
children.
yeah, ancestors.
I was wait, maybe I'm not
You're
familiar
what?
with the timeline of this. show.
But yeah, I think it's really good. I can't wait to watch season 2. I would highly recommend it if you've watched Lord of the Rings. But some people have watched it before Lord of the Rings and really liked it. So, I don't know.
Okay. Next one on this list. This is music. This is my recommendation.
I forgot about this one.
Here's the thing. You should listen to Enya. I feel Enya has very serious fantasy vibes.
Very strong.
I mean, she's in freaking Lord of the Rings. She's on the soundtrack.
Yeah. May it be.
She's probably on some other soundtracks. Enya's so mystical, so ethereal. I just feel like when I close my eyes, me and my friend used to do this. Me and my friend Minju, we actually used to listen to Enya in my basement on my little desktop computer. We'd play Wild Child and we'd lay on the floor, close our eyes, and listen.
Transported to another realm.
You're transported to another realm. I was like 9, okay?
Yeah.
I just feel like Enya is so magic. I was telling Tayven, we did a little D&D campaign a couple of years ago, like a one-shot, and in the final battle, our DM was like, hey, we need some battle music. What should we put on? And I'm like, put on Wild Child by Enya. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no, just do it. And God, slashing a demon water lizard's head off to Wild Child. It's magic. So, do yourself a favor. Get Enya's top hits playlist on Spotify or Apple Music.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more fantasy than that. Truly nothing.
Okay. Strong recommendations.
Yes.
Okay, last one is Conan the Barbarian. Another suggestion that we really know nothing about.
It was like a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's what we looked up. Anyways.
And that's it.
But I do want to remind you, these were strong suggestions, this list. So these, again, are lesser known.
Yeah.
But we had asked...
Came highly recommended.
Yeah, we had asked on Instagram, what's like your must that you would recommend to someone for fantasy? Like, obviously... We gave our like top 10 big ones, but so these were kind of lesser known musts from people, very highly recommended.
Yeah.
So, and we'll probably post all these on Instagram too, so you can check them out and look at them in a caption of something. Probably. Probably, maybe we'll be using Enya all week for all of our posts, and then, yeah, that's it. Okay. Shoot.
I'll breeze through these.
Well, let's do our anime.
Okay.
And then I'll do my movies and you do your...
okay.
Or should we come together and do anime at the end? We can each do our individual.
Yeah, let's do anime at the end.
Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah.
We have 3 more lists. Good lord. No. Oh, we're actually doing great on time. And this is so many recommendations for you. You're gonna have so much to listen to and watch and do. Okay.
Keeping you busy.
When we were making these lists, Tayven was like, I have so many video games. Like, I could do a whole list on video games. So we're like, okay, do the list on video games. She's like, and then you just do yours on movies and TV. And I was like...
I feel like that's our strong suit.
That is. I watch a shit ton of TV.
Yeah.
Tayven plays a shit ton of video games. So, yeah, I'll do my like movies and TV shows recommendations. These are my personal ones. I didn't ask anyone to send anything in. These are my personal favorite recommendations.
Yeah.
For fantasy movies and TV.
Okay.
Number 1, Snow White and the Huntsman. I actually think that's one of my favorite movies.
That's a good one.
It's really, really good. I feel like it's very underrated. Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, and then Charlize Theron. And they're amazing. It's such a good movie.
That was good. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that feels high fantasy in my mind. It's very, very fun.
Yeah.
I made Cody watch it earlier this year, and it's just really good. Number 2, The Last Unicorn. This is an old... Tayven, I'm surprised you haven't seen it, because it's an anime.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like an old-ass movie. I just remember there was a tree that came alive and like tried to crush a little wizard with her boobs or something. And then there's this old hag that turns into a vulture and they kill her. I don't know. It's so wild. It's basically about this girl. She is the last unicorn, but gets turned into a human. But then they're hunting her down. They're trying to kill all the unicorns, as I recall. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. I haven't seen it in quite a while.
Heard of it.
The last time I watched it was I was a nanny in high school. And these kids were like, oh, let's watch The Last Unicorn. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's so fun. I haven't seen it in forever. And then I was watching it. I'm like, this is a kid's show?
Watching this with you?
This is crazy. I mean, they have it on DVD, so I'm not going to say anything. But honestly, it's really good. If you've never watched it, it's a trip. I would highly recommend it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Number 3, Once Upon a Time, the TV show, but only through season 3. After season 3, stop watching. Did you ever see that TV show? But do you know what it is?
No.
Oh, God, it was so good. It came out probably like 2010. But it goes through, like, all the classic fairy tales. Like, all the fairy tale characters are now in the real world, and they're trapped in this town, and they don't remember that they're fairy tale characters.
Okay.
But then the curse gets broken on their land, and then they all remember that they're from fairy tale land, and then there's, like, conflicts and stuff and whatever. The main villain in the story is Rumpelstiltskin.
Hell yeah.
It's so good. But they like, have everything in it. And season 3 is my favorite, because the main villain in season 3 is Peter Pan.
Whoa.
And that's cool as hell.
Okay.
But then after season 3, they really started to try to incorporate all the modern, like, fairy tales. Like, they had Elsa and Anna, and, like, Frozen had just come out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just don't like it, because this wasn't, like, a classic fairy tale. Maybe it was, and I'm just not aware of it, but, you know.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend Once Upon a Time, only through season 3. I own the first 3 seasons on DVD if you want to borrow them. Okay. Next, Merlin on BBC. Did you ever watch Merlin?
No.
It's great. You know, King Arthur and Merlin. Yep.
Classic.
That's all I have to say about it. Well, okay, no, it's not. Merlin, you know, he's a wizard, but he can't tell anyone because magic is, like, outlawed in the kingdom. Mm. But he becomes Arthur's, like, right-hand boy, I suppose. And he's, like, using magic to save him all the time, but they all hate magic, and there's a big dragon in there, too. But it's John Hurt voices the dragon. It's really good. I would highly recommend it. Also jump down, too, because Doctor Who, I know it's more sci-fi, but still feels fantasy-ish. Yeah. And I would highly recommend that. I love Doctor Who. Although, I did stop watching it, like, the Peter Capaldi seasons. I watched one of those, and then I haven't watched since. But they're all really good. Stardust. What an incredible film. Haven't read the book, but the movie...
Yeah.
Yeah!
That takes me back.
An all-star cast. Michelle Pfeiffer. Ricky Gervais. Robert De Niro. Claire Danes.
Forgot. That's
amazing.
Crazy.
It is so good. I mean, they freaking catch thunder on a ship in the sky, or lightning, not thunder. It's that story is about a fallen star, but the star is a girl. Yeah. And then all these witches are trying to, like, hunt her down. And
God, I haven't seen that in so long.
And it's so good. It's like a good love story too.
That just reminds me of just being in your mom's basement.
Yes!
It's so nice.
Such a good movie. It's so, so good. Stardust, I honestly would put that first. Stardust, number 1 of my recommendations. That's so good. Damn. Next, I had Damsel. It was a Netflix movie that came out last year with Millie Bobby Brown.
That was good.
It was good. Costumes were good. Story was good. I thought it was really fun. It's just like a dragon. It's about a dragon.
Yeah.
And a girl. But very, like, fun fantasy film.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it too much because I watched all the trailers, so I knew everything that happened. And so I watched it, and it was still a great movie. But then I watched it with some friends because I recommended it to them, and they had not watched any of the trailers.
I hadn't.
And the first, like, 20 minutes of the movie, they're like, wait, what's happening? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be crazy if you didn't know what was happening.
I didn't, yeah.
Did it feel crazy?
It did.
So, that's a good movie. My next 2 recommendations, they're 2 separate ones, they could be one. Scooby-Doo, the live-action movies, 1 and 2. Amazing. No, yeah, that's all I need for that. And the next one is Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. I just watched that. It's on HBO Max. Cody and I had a little movie night. It's amazing. It's so good. And then my last one is Falling Skies. This is another, like, sci-fi one. It's an alien show. It is on Amazon Prime. It was on, oh god, what was that network? TNT, maybe? I don't know.
No idea.
I think it was maybe on, like, TNT years and years ago, but it's really good. It's like an alien invasion happens, and the main character, he was, like, a history professor, but he's kind of leading this, like, regiment now of, like, civilians and rebels fighting the aliens. And it's just a really, really good show. It actually has one of the characters from The Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
It's one of those annoying girls in Lily Salvatore's family.
I don't remember. I didn't care that much about that storyline. So.
Yeah, but anyway, she's, like, in that show. But those are my kind of top recommendations for movies and TV, if that's your vibe.
All right.
Okay, T-Bone. Wrong text thread. Hold on, let me pull up her list. We film on her phone, so she has to send me all her notes.
Alright, so yeah, I've got at least my top 10 video games. I tried to pull through, like, different consoles too, because I know not everyone has the same consoles as I do, so my big ones are, right now, the PS5, but used to be, like, the PS4, PS2, GameCube, Switch, all of those. So, obviously, number 1 right now, still Baldur's Gate. It's a classic, and I know that everyone that's into, like, D&D and high fantasy like that has probably already played it, But if you haven't, it's worth getting into. And the first little bit is a bit of a learning curve if you haven't played D&D, because it's like turn-based combat and all of that. So it's a lot different than any other video game you've probably played. But it's so good. The story's so good. The characters, the decision-making. I love a game where you affect the storyline, where the decisions you make affect the ending. So good.
I played it with Tayven, and she was so excited to play with me. She said, we're gonna do whatever decisions you make. And then I started making decisions, and she's like, we're not doing that. And I'm like...
Alright, well, one of the decisions, I believe, was to leave Gale behind. Can't have that.
The turn-based combat,
I simply can't have it.
Not my vibe. I feel like it was hard for me to space it.
It's literally the same as it is in D&D, though.
Yeah, but then I can sit there and I can think about my own things. I don't know. I just think I'm not a video game gal. I wish I was.
Yeah, oh my god. I actually don't know how I didn't put this on here.
I like watching
Video games.
I'm gonna have to replace one of those.
I think you and Cody should do Baldur's Gate, and I can watch you guys play.
I feel like Cody didn't like it either. When I played with him for a little bit, I feel like he didn't like it.
I feel like if you tried again, he would like it.
I feel like once you get past the first, 30 minutes to an hour, you fall in love. And it's a big game. I honestly, and I know that it's, one game of the year, and everyone's obsessed with it, so you all probably know this, but I was so impressed and mind-blown by how big the map is, first of all, because there's 3 acts, and especially in Act 3, the map is just so big, and it's mind-blowing. And I think that there's never gonna be a video game.
Cody didn't like it because he died.
Good. Well, yeah, that's true.
I was like, why didn't Cody like it? I think he was a little bitter. He was a little salty that he died.
It is a challenging game, too. It's not just an easy breezy walkthrough. The battles are tough, and you have to really have, kind of a
strategy.
A knowledge of, different spells and attacks and how the dice work and stuff.
That was my problem. I think I just like to go through and Mario's the most I can do, where it's you jump. The only action I can have in a video game is jump.
Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, it's literally, the game is you can spend up to I think I spent 120 hours on my first playthrough, but you could, if you deep dive into every little bit the game has to offer you could spend up to 300 hours on it. It's crazy. Anyway, so second recommendation, this whole franchise is great. It's my favorite video game franchise of all time. We'll recommend it until the day I die. But my favorite game in the franchise, and I know I'm gonna get heat for this, is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is my number 1 top time, even over Baldur's Gate, over anything. It's just such a good game, and if you've played the other games, and the story that's going on behind the scenes, in the real world, not in the Animus, it's so good, because it really ties up a lot of loose ends. It explains, where the Isu are from, and, the main villain comes to light, and it's just, oh my god. And it's a big game, too. I think I spent, over 300 hours on that game, too, especially if you have the DLC. But I'm also just a sucker for, that kind of mythology. Is that Norse? With, Norse mythology. Loki and Odin and all of them. I'm a sucker for it, so I loved that game. Absolutely obsessed. I'll recommend it to everyone. And then another franchise that every game is good, but my favorite game of the franchise, we kind of talked about Zelda a little bit, but I think Wind Waker is still the best game. And it's just...
We did do a playthrough of that together, but I feel like mostly you and Cody played, because I was
It's so fun. Yeah. It's so cute. And a lot of, the newer Zelda games, especially, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, are all, very, heavy, open world, but Wind Waker is simultaneously one of the best and most frustrating games I've ever played.
You gotta do a lot of sailing.
It's crazy. In the last half of the game, you have to find, all the Triforce shards, and they're split into, a million fucking pieces, and before you find the piece of the Triforce, you have to find the map for it. It's so annoying, but the rest of the game's so good.
That was fun. Those are honestly some of my favorite memories, is the 3 of us playing that together, because we started playing it, I think, during COVID.
Yeah.
But then we didn't finish till 2 years later.
Yeah.
And we all started playing it again. I think the only part I played is when we were trying to break Zelda out of the jail. I think that was
that part's fun.
all I could do. Or Tetra, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so fun. All of us playing it together. I'm I want to find it. Maybe we should just do another playthrough of that.
I'm so down.
I like watching video games. I don't love playing them.
Yeah, I love playing them.
So you and Cody need to get one. You guys can play together, and I'll just sit there and hang out.
It's so good. There's obviously, I love every other Zelda game ever, but that's probably my favorite one. Okay, then I have God of War Ragnarok. obviously all of the God of War games are great too. The old PS2 ones, great. The new one, great. But my favorite was Ragnarok. Again, just because I love the lore. I love the mythology. I love that the sun's a little grown up now. Such a good gameplay. Amazing.
And that's Norse, too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
we should do a little episode on Norse mythology.
I'm so down.
Okay.
I love it so much. Next one I got Hogwarts Legacy. A classic if you like
Harry Potter. It's really not set in the world of, like, Harry Potter's, like, timeline, but it's set in, like, Hogwarts and all of that. So you get to see, like, all these fun places that you know from the movies and books. Like, you get to go shop in Hogsmeade, and you get to take classes at the school, and it's just so fun. Honestly, really impressed, too, because I played it on the Switch, and for the Switch being what it is, and the game being so big, I was very impressed by it. So, that's a great one. Another one, this is a good one I personally don't love it as a solo playing game, because I'm not a big fan of hack and slash, but Diablo. Me and my dad and I just got the fourth one, and he's absolutely obsessed with it. Like, I go upstairs every night past like 8 o'clock, and he is just fucking grinding away on Diablo. But I like having a good video game to play with people, because I game alone a lot, so I like a good cross-play. So that's been really fun. It's been a way for my dad and I to, like, connect, too. But it also, I feel like, is a good not introduction, but it's a good way to get into, like, character building and stats and stuff if you're not super familiar with it, because I wasn't until I played Diablo. But that's one of the most fun parts of the game, is, like, building your character, doing the, like, skill points and paragon boards, and building up, like, your dexterity and strength and armor class for different things. It's, like, a lot of the more technical side of things, but not, like, too much where it's, like, confusing or, like, overwhelming or not fun anymore. So, I'd recommend that. And then, another classic, Animal Crossing.
She was like, does that count as fantasy? I'm like, they got animal heads. That seems fantasy.
That seems fantasy.
That's the only, I like Animal Crossing. I've played Animal Crossing.
It's just one of my favorite, just, like, best nostalgic games from my childhood, because I remember
playing it at your house.
Yeah,
on the
GameCube. I was obsessed. That was, like, the only video game I played when I was younger was Animal Crossing on the GameCube. And now they have, they had Wild World on the DS, and now they have New Horizons. And the
New Horizons is actually so good. If you like just, like, a calm, peaceful game where you just fish and garden and... They have a new game coming out. I saw that.
New Animal Crossing game?
No. Okay.
It's pretty much Animal Crossing, but it's actually Lord of the Rings. You're in the Shire, so you're a hobbit. You get to decorate your hobbit home, you get to grow your garden, you get to explore the Shire. Yeah, I saw, like, a trailer for the game, and I was like, I thought of you, and I thought of our other friend, and I was like, oh, they would love this. This would be so fun, because it literally looked like
game.
Animal Crossing, but you get to be a hobbit.
I love that. I love it. There's so many games that I play that are so high stakes that I love just a chill, peaceful, and I like decorating. I'm obsessed with decorating. So I love that aspect of Animal Crossing, which actually they did really well in Hogwarts Legacy, too. When you go into the room of requirement, you get to decorate it to your liking, which is really fun. Okay, so then I had this game, but I'm going to replace it because I can't believe that I forgot this game. The Witcher. Obviously.
It's just one of those ones where it's like, that's your favorites, So...
I just think I didn't even think about it, because I was thinking of, like, good recommendations.
I actually thought of that for my show list,
and
I didn't put it on. The Witcher should probably be on all of these lists,
yeah,
honestly.
On every single one of them. It's so good. Henry Cavill
if you did
as the Witcher? Are you kidding me?
I will say the first season I had to watch twice, because I had never played the game, so I didn't understand the storylines that they were doing, but... They're doing 2 alternating timelines in the first season of The Witcher. So if you gave it a watch and you're like, I don't like this or I don't understand it, watch it again, understand that it's 2 alternating timelines and they will end up, like, converging and then it, like, kind of comes together.
And that's, my recommendation is obviously The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. I have played a little bit of the first 2. I didn't finish them. But I guess, the first season follows a little bit of that timeline of the first 2 games. But it's just amazing. It's such a good game. It's another big, kind of open world, big map. Just so good. And then this is another throwback, and I'm sure not a lot of people have heard of this. And if you have, that's fucking awesome, because this game slaps. But it's called Dark Alliance. I own 2 different versions. The first game I have on the GameCube, the second game I have on the PS2. So, I don't know why, but they're amazing. It's kind of like, for me, like the original Diablo. So it is still a little bit of hack and slash, but it's like kind of just such an old, fun, not really dungeon crawler, but kind of. I don't know. It's just so fun. It's good to play with someone else. Me and my brother used to spend hours and hours playing just late into the night till like 5 or 6 in the morning. Order a pizza. And I played it recently. I played it like 2 years ago with my friend, and we had such a fun time playing it. So good. And then my last one, this is a more recent one, because I actually still haven't beat this game, but I played a lot more of it recently with my boyfriend, Jordan. We've been playing It Takes Two, and it's so good. There's so many weird, obscure references in it. Like, they include, like, a little bit of, like...
Some of the little dolls, right?
Yeah, so
okay.
Addy and I played a little bit of it.
Me and Cody have played it
a lot.
How far did you get?
Have you been to the elephant scene yet?
Yeah.
We literally, like, stopped playing after that because it was so fucking depressing. I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so
I was
sad.
like, they literally, like, make you kill a stuffed animal elephant that has come alive, and
And
you have
it's
to, like,
the cutest little
you, like,
elephant.
nail its ear down, and then you throw it off a cliff, and I was like, what the hell was that?
It's so sad.
Cody and I were like, we're not playing this game anymore.
Literally, we were like, yeah, because you get to the point where you have to rip its ear off, and you have to, like, press X, and I'm like, Jordan, come on. He's like, I can't.
That's how we were. We're like,
He's
I can't do it.
I'm not doing it. I was like, we just have to get through it. He's like, no.
They really lost me at that. I was like, no.
But there's so many, like, because it starts off as, like, a cooperative, like, 2-player game.
It was so fun.
You have to work together to, like, get through these obstacles and stuff. But then there's, like, so we're in this, like, village, that little, like, kind of, like, pop-up, like, book village.
Yeah.
And you go on the ferry boat, and if you hop off at the thing, there's a little part where you can go in and break pots and rupees start appearing.
Oh, that's so fun.
So, like, there's, like, a Zelda reference, there's, like, a dungeon crawler reference, you go in and you're, like, one of you's a wizard, one of you's, like, a fighter, and it's just, there's so much of every...
fun game.
Yeah. It's, the graphics, incredible. It's a beautiful game, too, that scene where you're on, like, the fish, and you're going through, like, it's so good.
Here's the crazy thing about It Takes Two, is Tayven had started playing it with, I think, her brother, and then she's like, you guys have to play this game, so she brings it to our house, and we start playing it, and we're, like, going through the story. It's like, these two parents are getting a divorce, and their kid, like, does some spell, and then
these parents are, like, in the bodies of the kids' little dolls now, and they have to, like,
get along and learn to love each other again to, like, you know,
yeah,
get through everything, and that's the story. But Tayven... She's like, whoa, this is crazy. What's going on? We're like, you've played this game. She's like, I didn't listen to any of the story. We're like, what do you mean you didn't listen to the story? How do you even know what's happening?
I'm not a big dialogue person. Almost in every video game, I just skip through the dialogue.
Done.
Just, I want to play. So
yeah. It Takes Two is very fun.
It's so good. There's just a little bit of everything in there. And I didn't realize that until this last playthrough with Jordan. I was like, God, they're doing the most out here. You gotta, like, fly planes. You gotta, like... It's so good. It's
super,
crazy.
super fun. I like when you're, like, in the ball pit and stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because you're little. You're, like, a little... You gotta fight, the squirrels enlist you to help them fight the wasps.
The bees, yeah.
It's just crazy. It's a fun...
There's puzzles, there's fighting, there's so much. It's so good.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. And I still haven't beat it. So...
Alright.
That's my list.
Then we have our last list. Also, I feel like there's gonna be... I keep getting freaking Skype notifications on my computer. I don't even have Skype, so hopefully, if you hear a bunch of dings in this audio, those are my Skype notifications. So, I don't know.
This is what it is.
I've never gotten them before.
Weird.
Ever. See, there's another one.
I was wondering what that was.
Bradford Brooks it's like, I don't know, a trading one. Okay.
We gotta breeze through this list. Yeah.
One. These are our top 10 anime.
It's gotta be its own list.
Yeah, you know, so we have them here. All right, One Piece, number 1. One Piece. We got Luffy, Captain Luffy over here. He's the captain.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
He's the captain, right?
Hold on. I've seen One Piece. I watched like 500 episodes. Yeah. I still couldn't remember.
I still haven't finished it. It's crazy.
One Piece, so good, so fun. Honestly, if you're not into anime, watch the Netflix version. It's super fun, the live action.
Yeah, the live action was really good.
I thought it was excellent. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Demon Slayer. Classic. Kind of a newer one, but so good.
I think Demon Slayer, honestly, is one of the best animes.
Yeah.
My only complaint about it, I was telling Cody, I don't they go a lot from, like, the main animation and then into, like, their little chibi form, and they get, like, a high-pitched voice, and they're like, and I hate that. I
like it. I think it's cute.
I can't stand it.
It's classic Japanese style.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Alright.
The next one is My Hero Academia. That one is my favorite style because they don't often go into any sort of other, like, which I hate. Me and Cody just went and saw the new movie for My Hero Academia, and it was so good.
That was one that we all watched together during COVID.
I do feel the power structuring has gone off the rails a little.
Really? I haven't watched it since, like, season 3.
Oh, it's kind of freaking wild, and, like, literally Japan is in ruins. Like, it's been ruined by Shigaraki.
Okay.
Because he, like, got all the power from All for One. Can I give you a spoiler?
I guess.
Okay, guys, big spoilers. Aizawa, he lost his eye and his leg.
What?
He can't use his quirk anymore.
Oh my god, he was my favorite character.
I know, he's like hardly in the show. Well, he was not in the movie at all, and I was like, we're like, wait, what happened to him? And then we started watching the new season, and we're like, oh shit, yeah, he lost his eye and his leg.
Oh my god.
He cuts his own leg off.
Okay, maybe I'll just start watching again.
It's kind of
crazy.
crazy.
I stopped because I was kind of just like, but...
No, it gets wild. This new season is really good, too, because finally they have a plan that's actually, like, working, and I'm like, okay.
Thank God.
Thank goodness. That's what I hate in anime. I feel like there's a lot of ones where it's like, the heroes will get the most amazing plan, but then it still doesn't, like, no part of it works. And I'm like, that doesn't seem realistic. I think one part of it should have worked.
Yeah. Gotta have some conflict.
But when it's too much, that's what I feel like. They're not landing a single punch on the villain or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have your 5 most powerful sorcerers.
You've been training for years for
You've been training for years, and you're not landing a single punch?
Yeah.
Come on. You know, I don't like it.
Alright.
Okay.
Attack on Titan. Another classic. This was the anime that got me into anime in, like, early high school. First one. Amazing. It's deep. It's heavy. It'll make you cry, but it's worth it.
Next one is Erased. It's a little 10 episode like mini series.
So good.
Oh, you know what? We should have added to this list. I'll tell you after. Okay, but Erased is really good. It's kind of like a murder mystery, but it's also like time travel.
Yeah.
It's good for Halloween time too, actually, because it's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
But this was one of the
good.
first animes I watched, and I thought it was amazing.
I remember.
Okay.
Okay, Promise Neverland.
It's also a good Halloween one.
Yeah, that's a really good Halloween
Farming
one.
children for their brains.
It starts off really cute, and then it gets really creepy. I haven't watched season 2, because I've heard that it's trash.
Oh,
and...
I watched season 2.
Oh, really?
I liked it,
Okay.
but I never read the manga. My husband read the manga. Cody said that, like, it's so different.
Oh.
Because, too, I think the manga is a lot longer, and they really cut things short to, like, wrap it up in one season.
Yeah.
So, I liked it, but again, I was going in as someone who hadn't read it.
I haven't read it either.
So, you might like season 2.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
I thought it wrapped it up well.
Okay.
Oh, the next one I have is Dawn to Dawn. Dawn to Dawn, I think. Okay, we just started it. There's only 2 episodes out on Netflix. It's crazy. It's about aliens and ghosts. And it's... I really don't even know what to say. Tayven, you gotta watch it.
Okay.
It's wild.
What is it on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, perfect.
2 episodes.
Okay.
These aliens
Perhaps
are crazy.
I'll start it today.
These ghosts are crazy. They're trying to eat people's dongs. That's what they say a lot, okay? That was a quote from the show. It's crazy.
Alright. Classic... Oh, no, this isn't... I was skipping one. Okay, this is actually my recommendation.
Oh, you do all of them. Those are all yours.
Oh, okay. Well, Dororo, I feel like it's not really well heard of. I had no idea it existed before it got recommended to me. But I would say it's in my top 3. Like, it's so good. It's about this, like, samurai and his little friend, and they're just... Oh, it's so good. Just... Chef's kiss. Okay, this one's the classic. Naruto. Had to put it on there. I'm sure everyone's seen it, or at least parts of it, or knows what happens. But you can't not have it on the top 10 list.
It's good. I've seen... Well, Cody and I got really into it. We watched quite a bit of it, but I don't remember where we stopped watching.
And then, last but not least, this is my personal number 1 all-time favorite anime ever. And I know I'm going to get some heat for it, probably. But Black Butler. It was the second anime I ever watched. So I watched Attack on Titan, and I was like, this anime is kind of good. And then I watched Black Butler, and I literally... At my old house, I was trapped in my basement for, like, weeks. Like, I would not leave. Like, I just, like, would order food and just sit in my basement and binge watch Black Butler, because it's so good. It's about, like, demons and... Oh, God. It's so good. Have to watch it. But do not watch it with subtitles. Don't watch it subbed. Disgusting. Their accents are horrible. It made me hate the show. Dubbed. Don't watch it dubbed. Only watch it subbed. Because the Japanese voice acting, so much better. But the English is just, it's atrocious. It's awful.
I have to add a number 11, and you'll agree.
Okay.
Kotaro Lives Alone.
Oh, yeah.
If
That's
you
so good.
need a little show to just tug at your heartstrings, Kotaro Lives Alone. It's about this, like, he's just a little kid, like 5 or 6. Like,
yeah.
and he's a goofy kid.
He's so goofy.
But
He's
he
so cute.
ends up moving next to this guy in this little, like, single room apartment, like, by himself.
Oh,
And, you know, the neighbor, it's kind of this, like, dynamic between him and the neighbor's trying to figure out, like, why is this kid alone? And he starts, like, taking him under his wing, and then the whole apartment complex is kind of, like, helping to take care of them, but they're all struggling with their own things, and, you know, you find out that Kotaro, he, like, came from, like, an abusive family, and is literally living on his own, and it's just, it's
so cute.
It's sad and sweet, and it's charming. It's a really good... It's another little mini-series. I think it's like 10 episodes. And
easy to get through.
I think it's a special show. It's like a special show. It's so good.
Okay, I could add a number 12.
Okay.
Because that just made me think, a lot of those recommendations were really heavy ones, but that one reminded me of a lighter one. Or in High Host Club. It's a good little slice of life one. It's just so fun. It's about this kid that's just in high school experiencing life in a host club, and it's just so cute and so fun. And if you like anime daddies, there's a lot of them. I would say, top 3 for me, Black Butler, Ouran High, Dororo. Yeah. So good.
When you said anime daddies, I have to tell you my complaint.
I don't know how we didn't put Jujutsu Kaisen on there, by the way.
Because I'm mad at Jujutsu Kaisen, so I don't think they deserve a spot right now.
Whoa, okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen's good, but I'm mad about the story right now, because they're one of the power scaling. I'm like, this... It is too...
But I'm gonna talk about all-time anime daddies. It's Gojo and Satoru. Wait.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about, though.
What's the other guy?
Wait, Satoru Gojo is one guy. Oh,
what's
Gato.
his name? Gato.
Yeah, Gato. Yeah. No.
Okay, sorry.
Anime daddy for me is Todoroki, not Todoroki, but his dad, Endeavor, in My Hero Academia. No, hear me out. If I had a hear me out cake, if you guys have seen that trend, this would be on my hear me out cake. I love Endeavor when his flames are off, I never understood why people were attracted to, like, cartoon characters. It was always, like, beyond me. I was like, this doesn't make sense. But the first time they showed Endeavor no flames on his face, I was like, okay. And I think that redheaded people should not be allowed to be together. I believe that. But I would bypass that law for
That's
Endeavor.
So crazy.
For no flame hair Endeavor. Tayven, give it a chance.
I literally
give it another chance.
have a tattoo of Todoroki that is on me forever for the rest of my life.
Why don't you like his dad?
Because his dad sucks.
No. He's getting a lot better in these other seasons.
Oh, God. That's... Alright.
Because he's trying to make amends. Oh, and then you have Dobby's whole storyline. Wait, because you understand... You know Dobby's storyline, right? And so it's all, like, you know, Endeavor knows. He's, like, revealed himself to Endeavor and Todoroki. And it's just... I mean...
That's crazy.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
I don't know about that one. That's crazy.
I know about that one.
Okay. Alright.
Anyways.
I'll give you it. I won't agree, but I'll give it
We'll
to
do
you.
An episode of Top 10 Anime Daddies a different
We
time.
have to. Because I would literally give up my life for freaking Gojo.
Yeah.
I would.
You'd be...
Only with his hair down, though. I don't like when he wears the bandana and his
Really?
hair
I don't like
up.
it when his hair is down.
Really? That's so crazy.
That's so funny.
I love when his hair is down and his big blue eyes.
The baby blues.
I'm gonna pass away. I'm gonna fall out of frame.
No, I like it when his hair's up better.
That's so crazy.
So
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that was great. So those are our top recommendations. Hopefully you listen to, watch, play one of these.
But you can relate to, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully there's something on here for you. I feel like there's something for everyone on here.
There's
even if you have, like, no interest in fantasy.
There's at least Shrek.
Yeah, at the bare minimum, there's Shrek. And that's
Scooby-Doo.
That's the people's movie.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, this was all of our top 10s. Next week, we're gonna be talking about Over the Garden Wall. Taven's
I've
never seen it. If you have not seen Over the Garden Wall, watch it. I will remind you on Instagram so you're ready to chat about it next week. And then the week after that for Halloween, we're finally doing our urban legends. So
we have a lot of material prepared, just wasn't feeling it.
yeah,
so.
We do. And I'm actually going out of town next week. So this week we're recording all of our episodes for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So they'll be good. Join us, chat about it with us. We're super excited about it.
We won't leave you guys hanging anymore. No more weeks without an episode.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
We'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
there might be.
There might be.
The world is unpredictable. There's a lot that could happen.
But we're back and we're not leaving, okay?
We're not going anywhere.
So enjoy the top 10s. Let us know if you watch, listen, read, play
Please
any of
do.
these. We love you all and we hope you have a fantastical week. Bye!